Hi everyone, this is Yulianna Avdeeva. It is 7:30, Thursday, and we are on air as usual. I hope you had a good week and you are all doing very, very well and enjoy a little bit the summertime or winter time, depending on where you are. Anyway, in this video tonight we will be opening the second half of the first book with F sharp major, Prelude and Fugue by Johann Sebastian Bach, and after that I'm excited to talk to you, to share views about Claude Debussy and his Estampes. It's great to see you all. Hi Lars, hello Enlise, hi Alex, hello Giovanna, hello Maria, hi Yun Ying, and hi Masako. I hope you are all doing well and everything is fine with you and your families. Hello Maria. So the F sharp major tonality, quite unusual key, very actually a rare key, and comparing to the F minor which we had last week, which was a kind of equivocal tonality with different facets, with different faces in a way, the F sharp major is somehow more clear in its characteristics, in my opinion. Hi Jakub, hello Kyoko, good morning Kyoko, hi Michael, hello Patricia, hi Wesley, yeah, great, best wishes back to Taiwan, hello Robert, hello Jose, Alex, I'm doing well, I hope you are also doing good. Здравствуйте, Leila, hi Mario, hi Stefan. So the F sharp major, yes, it's quite rare used. It has 6 sharps, which is already, the score always looks quite black. Hi Shorty to Catalonia, hello, hello Yuichi, hi Luis, hi Mariam. So the character of F sharp major key, somehow on one hand it's quite warm in my feeling. Somehow it is it's like a nice summer weather. It's not too hot, it's not like it's not too sharp actually, comparing to C sharp major for instance. It's somehow very comfortable. It is in a way very, also can a little bit pastoral, but it has also some kind of tranquility, some kind of relaxation, a very peaceful tonality, I think. Hi Jeremy, hi Stephen to Atlanta, hello Santiago and Francisco and Yukiko and Rafaelo, hi Alexis, hi Joanna. So yes, there are actually not so many pieces composed in this key. Of course, somehow we have, I think, discovered that Schubert somehow more preferred the flat tonalities. That's why he actually more used the G flat major. But mostly, especially, let's say, even Chopin composed wonderful pieces like Barcarolle or Nocturne in Opus 15. Those pieces are somehow, they have this very quiet, very impressionist even character. And actually in the 20th century this tonality was very often used by Scriabin, Alexander Scriabin, and also by Messiaen, and that was some kind of the ecstatic expression. That was the key they have used for this kind of very emotional, very expressive feeling. Hello Stefano, hi Marek, hello William, hi Rolf, great to see you. You're right, the time is really flying. We're just about the half of the first, we just moved the first, we just finished the first half of the book 1 and continuing with the F sharp major. Hi Joff, hello Stefano. So the Prelude actually is quite, I think it's it's a wonderful piece. It's somehow, it has actually two lines, so it's not so, it sounds not so complicated. It is very peaceful, and so we have two. For me, it's a kind of dialogue, because we have this first phrase. So the left hand, we have those imitations in the triplets, and they will be coming back during the entire prelude. The left hand has those beautiful steps, very long lines, and the right hand has those wonderful syncopations, maybe a little capricious, you know, different intervals. But also here, there is a line already, there is a contrapuntal line. So it's always, there are always so many hidden lines in Bach, I think, and this is one of those absolutely perfect examples for the hidden polyphonic in his also easy sounding music. There is only one dark moment in this prelude, which is coming right before the end. Releasing again back in the F sharp major, so he's using the organ point in the bass and going suddenly to the F sharp minor tonality, which is actually kind of, it's a very, yeah, it's a great contrast. But that's indeed also the only shadow in this prelude. The fugue is in 3 parts. Actually, it's basically composed in the same character as the prelude, so it's very pastoral, very like a sunlit in a way. So with the subject. So it's very full of light, very bright subject. There is also a possibility, as we were talking about, the articulation in the subject, what kind of articulation I go for, as this subject also starts with the upbeat, so there is no first beat. I prefer to show because if I would phrase, if I would articulate, for me it might happen that it sounds like this is the first beat, which is actually not. And I think it is really crucial that from the first entrance of the subject we really know what is the signature time, what is the so it's very charming subject. Actually also it's a huge range which it covers, because we have this F sharp here, so it's going a little bit up and then somehow moving down in a very elegant manner. There is one particular element in this fugue which is somehow very special, which appears for the first time in the first episode, and this is this. Little steps or waves, it depends on, I don't know. So this movement this element is very, it gets very important, and in some bars, like of course it becomes a counter subject in some places, and sometimes it gets those wonderful lines, for instance here. Exciting element, and actually this is this crucial moment, developing moment in this in this fugue. So I'm very happy, yes, to perform the F-sharp major Prelude and Fugue from Book I by Johann Sebastian Bach for you. F-sharp major Prelude and Fugue from Book I by Johann Sebastian Bach. Yes, it is. I absolutely agree, Rolf. It has also something very gentle, very tender. It has a kind of tenderness, but also a kind of it can be. It can be also very, very exciting tonality. But anyway, I am. It's somehow it's really indeed very special, special key. It's interesting that actually before Bach it was not, well, actually Bach was apparently the first composer who really used it, composed something in this piece. Absolutely, yes, Jordi, you are absolutely right. The of course the F sharp major tonality appears very often in F sharp minor pieces, but also we will see it also later in, for instance, in Debussy's music. Sometimes also because of the notation, because it's really difficult to notate, especially also for the instruments like clarinet in B, for instance. It's actually, that's why it's the G flat major is also more often used for the orchestral notation, because it's just not possible to read it. So it's yeah, it's really yeah, it's also sometimes it's really a question of some so easy things, like really how the way you really write the music. Hi Dario, nice to see you. Architecture or more expression? Ooh, well, I think it's a little bit both in this in this particular pair. It's really very very yeah, it has a certain construction, and of course this engine, this this gives a kind of also very like also a kind of perpetuum mobile, always moving forward. Camilo, what is the most difficult about playing Bach for you? It's not easy to say, because of course, first of all, it's not, sometimes it takes some time to really to understand the, not just to read the music score, but to understand, to decide what kind of articulation, what kind of still, also it's of course the dynamic range in Bach is not like it's in romantic music or in the music of 20th century, but still of course there are some phrasing, there is dynamics, there are so many questions of interpretation which have to be solved in Bach. And of course, as the Urtext has no indication, almost nothing, of course it's a little bit a problem of choice. Then of course, yeah, but it's a very interesting work, you know, because you can try so many things out and really decide what feels better for you. And this kind of work is really, of course, you know, sometimes now when I open the, for instance, Debussy is really the contrary. He has so many very clear comments about dynamics, about the pedal, about the expression he wants to have. And apparently, Debussy was actually, he was expecting the performers or the interpreters to be very precise in their rendition of any pieces. So he was not a big fan of this kind of, you know what I mean, this romantic performer with a very free manner of performing the music score. And for Debussy, apparently it was, well, at least that's what he says. You know, I have a wonderful book here which helped me a lot in, you know, discovering Debussy's music. It is actually Debussy himself was also there are quite many reviews of concerts which Debussy visited, which were also published in several newspapers. And basically in this book there are many letters and just basically many essays, let's say, about his views on music. And of course it is very very interesting to really to read from the composer himself what kind of expectations he had on the interpreter. And I found that's very, that Debussy describes it very very actually precise, that he for him it is very important that the contrapuntal point of view is very well presented in the performance of his pieces. Yuyin, I have actually, it's not the, it's just, it's the name of it is just Claude Debussy, his interviews about music, reviews and interviews about music. So it's I have it in German, but I'm sure that it should exist also in English, because it's really well, in French anyway, because it's a really interesting source, really to understand what kind of musician or what kind of artist Debussy was. Raphael, good question about the historical articulations and influence of modern interpretation and on the on the period instruments. I'm sure that it is, well, for me at least, it's very inspiring to have a chance to try the compositions I play also on the historical pianos, because these were the instruments Bach and actually almost all composers until, let's say, Liszt or Brahms were composing. I mean, they didn't have our modern piano, and of course it's a completely different articulation, different phrasing, different pedal. Also for Chopin, for me, it was really a great experience to play on a Erard piano, because some questions of pedal, for instance, when Chopin writes very long pedals, but also in Beethoven it's exactly the same. I understand, because on modern piano it sounds just, doesn't sound well, because the harmonies are mixed and it doesn't sound right in a way. But once I tried it on the period instrument, I had an answer for that, because the overtones are completely different on the historical pianos comparing with ours, with the modern ones, and that was the answer. So I can apply some of those elements which I discovered on the historical piano. Of course, I think I'm applying them on the modern one, and I think it's a great, amazing enrichment. And these were the instruments. I mean, or let's say the instruments, or the sound which these composers had in their mind while composing. So I think it's, well, for me, it's a really amazing. Hello, Ting. It's great to see you again. Well, you see, you are asking about the fugues. I think for me the best way to practice them is really to practice one line with both hands. So if we have for instance here in the F sharp major, we have from the bar 4 we have two voices, two in the right hand. So it is very helpful, first of all, to play always the voice, to play, let's say, two voices, but always to follow not only of course the upper voice, but also to follow the middle voice throughout the entire fugue. Doesn't matter if the right or left hand is playing. And I very often play one line, what I played now, what is written for one hand, I played with two. So I keep the upper voice, of course, in the right, and the middle one I take to the left hand. Because once I play it with both hands, it sounds completely different, because the left hand is more independent. It gives also the phrasing there is automatically better, because I'm not bothered, I'm not occupied with the difficulties. I mean, like technical difficulties. And once I hear it with this perfect sound, with both hands, both lines absolutely clearly phrased. It helps a lot also then to bring it only into one hand. Analyze, absolutely, it is very difficult, but for me somehow it's the best. It takes also lots of time, but this for me is somehow the best method to, yeah, just to feel comfortable in the fugue, and to also to be able to follow finally all voices, not, you know, just not, because the idea of the fugue is this democratic idea that all voices are same important, and not like in a melody and accompaniment. So I think it is a yeah, great for me, great method of practicing. So now we are coming to Claude Debussy, his wonderful piece, cycle, Estampes. Well, apparently Estampes, the meaning of the Estampes is was actually a expression for Japanese prince, and Debussy was very much inspired by the Oriental art, which he had the chance to experience during the Paris exhibition, and there is a proof that he really was at the Paris exhibition in 1900, so 1900, and there he had a chance to experience many different type of Oriental arts, also the Javanese gamelan, but which is actually which we will hear in Pagode. But before, because I was so excited about that, I have to share it with you. At the same time, when he was working on Estampes, he also was composing one of my personally favorite pieces of him is La Mer, and I have found this. Can you see it here? I have found that he have chosen for the cover of the first edition of the score, he have chosen this print, The Great Wave of Hokusai, which means that, of course, he was very much aware of the Japanese prince, and yeah, about Hokusai. This is really great. Jakob, it's difficult to say which one is my favorite. They are all somehow very different, very beautiful. For me, it's actually an absolutely exciting, unique cycle. So the first one is the first piece is the Pagode, which is actually a Oriental temple in a very special form, with a basement and with a kind of layers with beautiful roofs and and ornamentation, but it's like a tower like. And as Debussy was actually, he was very much hoping that, or let's say he was working on that the musical language will develop, because he actually was seeking to find a way to say goodbye to this traditional major minor tonality, and he became really a great innovator in that, because he basically started to use the different scales. So it was not just major minor, but his music is very often built just on scales. So the Pagode he heard at the Paris exhibition the Javanese ensemble, and most of the instruments there are percussive, and this music is very often using this pentatonic scale, which means 5 keys. There are 2 types of it. The one he uses in the beginning is this hemitonic, which means unhemitonic. It has no half tones. So we have, and this is how he uses it. Debussy wouldn't be Debussy if he would not bring so many additional things into those into those scales, because actually the pentatonic scale are very very old. They are one of the oldest scales which the humanity or our civilization have, and it has something very, very, very pure in a way, because it's built on the circle of fifth. And another type of the pentatonic scale is hemitonic with the half tones, which he's using a little bit later in the bar 7, which sounds like the. And again, also here there is a wonderful structure of this piece, which is somehow also kind of reflects, or let's say it describes this tower-like temple, because we have those this bass element, which is a kind of bells, and it appears also throughout the piece. Basically, Debussy has very often this kind of basso ostinato, but sometimes it's not in the bass, but sometimes it's built in the middle of the texture. But so we have this basement, then we have those beautiful carrying elements and the melody. So it is very, very clear structure later on, because from bar 11 he switched the bass to the G sharp, and then it still remains the same scale, but it starts from the G sharp, and it sounds like a minor scale. So it is very rich language in a way, which he reaches here. So it is just an amazing example of his creativity. Not traditional, of course, writing, because those pure intervals, because he uses them in the row in this pentatonic scale, and this is really amazing. And later on, he still develops this element also on the black keys, and combines it with this choral. Actually, this is also something with what actually Debussy in a way invented, because he composes somehow not the meaning of chord in his music is not just harmonic. It's sometimes he builds real melodies out of chords, and this is I think actually a very interesting device, interesting effect. Wonderful bases, which is indeed the basement of the piece, and the end is absolutely. So this is basically the elements of the pagode, and the end is absolutely exciting, because in the end we have in the right hand this wonderful ornamentation. So maybe, I don't know, it's like some sunshine on a golden roof or something like this. Then we have this again this beginning pentatonic scale, and in the right hand he uses another one. So we have this one here, the original one starting in G sharp, and which we had in the beginning, and another one in the right hand, and again the bass. So it's that's how he. So this is, for me, somehow an absolute perfect musical description of this kind of beautiful temple. The second piece is called La Soirée dans Grenade, an evening in Granada in Spain, and from the very beginning Debussy also makes a comment, mouvement de habanera, in habanera movement or tempo. And the habanera is actually, well, habanera is a Spanish dance, but it was interesting. It had an interesting history. It was a contra dance which came from, which was brought from France and Spain to the South America, and there it had a kind of development and had some great influence, received a great influence from the Afro-Cuban people, and this rhythm pattern is absolutely so recognizable. This is so. Of course, we all know the Carmen. So this is basically the habanera rhythm. And somehow it was a very popular element in French by French composers when they were describing Spain. Of course, through Bizet, Ravel also incorporated habanera, and also Saint-Saëns and Debussy. So this element of this rhythmical pattern remains. It's always there in this piece. Then we have another element in the Arabic scale or double harmonical scale, which is this. So we have this very clear Arabic element here, and then there is a guitar element, which is so the piece is absolutely full of contrast, great, without any preparation. He changes the like, no, maybe he changes the view, or he to be honest, this moment, this melody is, for me, somehow I really feel this heat. You know, when it's very hot, that the air is moving, and this is this kind, I don't know, maybe afternoon in this desert, and then it's really this very heavy heat over here, and you're kind of half dreaming or something. Then there is another scale which Debussy integrates here, which is this. This is so-called whole tone. So there is no hemitones here. Of course, probably that's actually where his real scale development started, because of course the most probably famous example of this scale in his music is the voile, of course, because this voile is, except with one exception, it's almost where he uses the pentatonic scale, it's all in whole tone scale. So these characters here, they change very, very quick until we get to the section and here he's cannot decide major or minor, and this is really very, very special piece. So please enjoy Soirée en Grenade. That was the soirée de Grenade. Yes, and I forgot to tell that the habanera, so it was brought back from Cuba, from Havana, that's why habanera, back to Spain by the sailors in the 19th century. It became very, very popular dance. So the last piece in the cycle is Jardins, sous pluie, which is the garden in the rain. And this is definitely back to France. And my feeling, but that's only my personal idea, is that because Debussy using here in this piece two French songs. Well, one song is definitely a children's song with this motif. It's a kind of lullaby. And another one in the other section is so-called "Nous n'irons plus au bois," which means we are not going to the forest, which is a kind of also equivocal song, but it's amazing how different they sound in this piece and how Debussy combines them. So this is definitely because Debussy was a great admirer of Rameau Couperin, generally of the French harpsichord school, and this is definitely the beginning. Is definitely, for me, it has something to do with the harpsichord. Lullaby, which Debussy puts in this absolutely brilliant, wonderful manner, really like it would be raining and the sun would shine at the same time, and then the sun, the drops are somehow lighting. So, and another theme is a very dreamy one. Somehow like a dream, and then Debussy, after this mysterious place, he brings them together in a brilliant coda. But this does amazing travel through different parts of the world. Although that was very Very interesting. You know, as the lockdown just started, a sentence said by Claude Debussy came to my mind, because he was saying that if one cannot, of course, under completely different circumstances, but he was saying if one cannot travel, well, if one cannot afford travels, one substitutes the imagination, so that with the imagination, and apparently this is the best proof that he was not able to travel because of many reasons. Of course, also to the Far East, and to see all those everything, but he was able to feel it, and he was able to express it through music. And this is also, I think, yeah, it's a great credo. Just, you know, that it's not always necessary, or it's not always possible to travel and to get somewhere where we would like to go, but we can read, we can play music, we can listen to music, we can do so many things, and just with our imagination. And this is something, I think this is a really so inspiring sentence, really amazing courage gave this sentence gave to me, I have to say. And yeah, I wish you all and myself that we keep inspired, that we keep our souls inspired, we keep our spirit, just healthy, also spirit, and just have a great week. Thanks a lot for being here tonight, and we see each other next week. Thank you so much, and take care. See you. Bye-bye.